It's extremely nice to have your support through your membership. So I would say, why don't you try to take the steps from membership to trying to do some of this? You may yourself be in a conflict, or you may have a conflict nearby, among friends, in a couple you know, and things of that kind. Well, talk with both of them separately. Try to find something transcendent, something beyond their perspectives that could unite them. To find that, there is a capacity you have to have, creativity, some element of creativity, in order to link them together in a new way. And I have found the Buddhist point very important. Don't focus so much on the individuals of the parties, but on their relation. Peace is a relation, violence is a relation, conflict is a relation, conflict is a solution, solution is a relation. Trauma is a relation, conciliation is a relation. Focus on the relation between them. Yet get the relation right, and you will see that the parties improve. Because they become simply more peaceful, and there are more peaceful relations. So when I'm mediating a marriage, what I try to do is to come up with a project for them, something they can do together. Something that is sort of playing on the good of the wife and the good of the husband. And lo and behold, they do that for a little while, and they change completely. Change the relation and you change the parties. Change the parties, you may not change the relation. Focus on the relation. Now, there is an element of creativity, and you get it by doing it, by training. You get it. So my New Year's wish is, start acting. Enter into local conflicts. And here there are 3 rules, 3 steps. I've said it very, very often, but let me repeat it. And the steps are called mapping, legitimizing, bridging. Mapping, who are the parties to the conflict? And try to find out what they want. My way of doing that is to ask them questions like, what does the Middle East look that you would like to live in? In other words, concretize. So the second is legitimizing. Find the legitimate goals of the parties. So there is no problem if a slave wants freedom, that is certainly legitimate. And we have slavery going on today in many forms. If a slave owner or a slave dealer wants to keep it, then you ask him why. How do you justify that? He said, well, that's the way I can make a living for my family. So I say, aha. Can't you make a living for your family in some other way? In other words, you try to find the legitimate goal of the party, not just denouncing it. And then you get into a discussion of that. And to use that example, you could imagine somebody suggesting in the 1830s, how about liberating your slaves and make a kind of cooperative with the slaves as free people? And you might find that they will harvest much more cotton than before. And they will get their part of the income. In fact, that happened a couple of places. And the real slave owners were, of course, shooting at them and trying to destroy it. Interesting, but things can always be done. And the third stage, when you are dealing now with legitimized parties. Sometimes they are not legitimate, they have to be legitimized. Then your task is to bridge the legitimate goals of the parties. How that can be done. And I mentioned already the cooperative with the former slave owner and the former slaves. And I mentioned a Buddhist bookstore between a fundamentalist Buddhist wife and a fundamentalist bourgeois businessman. So business to him, that's the bookstore. Buddhism to her, that's the content of the books. So you will find that the sticky point is that little creativity, the linkage between the good and the good. And that comes with training. You just do it, it will come. The 21st times are the more difficult, after that it comes. So that is my New Year's wish, that you simply start acting and you simply gain also for yourself in understanding the world and ultimately wisdom. Thank you.